Oh, hey there, I didn't see you. How you doing? My name's Notepad and I write games for fun, so what are we doing today? Today we're going to be working on more shit, because I can never escape the cycles of death. Ugh. Well, more specifically, we're going to be, working on some little bit of everything, kind of hammering out the final details. I think that's going to be our most important situation right now, is hammering out the final details. Did a little bit of work last night. So, I've got this done. What is this? This is you, the Ludus, the character. That's not it. That's the band name. This is you, the character, the Ludus. This is you. These are your stats, which I've roughly broken down to like how do I want it? It's like like gladiator influence, aristocratic influence, plebeian influence, that's the best way to kind of word it, and finally hedonism, which is cult influence. Now, the concept behind this is that these are your stats that you're going to be increasing by retiring your guys. That's kind of the idea. You retire your guys, you get stats, effectively. What can these stats do? These are ways you're actually going to be doing things, your character in particular. Because I was having a very interesting situation and a little bit of a think last night, is what happens when you have a good old-fashioned 1v1. Trying to make sure I can flip it back. Like, what happens when you have a 1v1? You have two gladiators trying to kick the shit out of one another. But a player, a PC, is playing one, and the other PC is not. What happens? So, effectively, what I was thinking of is, obviously, this is going to be an arena, and in that arena are going to be all of your Ludus. You can be gambling, which is everything everyone always loves, because I love gambling and you too love gambling. You could be trying to influence the results, or kind of doing your own thing, if that makes sense. The idea of a fight going on should be a spectacle for everyone. That's the entire concept. This is a spectacle. So trying to get that right, that's going to be one of the hardest parts. How are you doing? Pretty alright. Some guy that's talking shit about you, he goes by Duka. Oh, Duka? Duka's an autist who's gotten banned from, like, literally every single server ever because he's an annoying Serbian. That's cool. If Duka's talking shit, that means I'm doing something right. That's all I gotta say. I've been morally justified. Man is kicked out of 108 servers, talks shit. Yeah, I'm doing okay. But yeah, trying to get this. I have the ideas of what I want to do here, because what I want this to feel like is that the player, a player has influence on a match even when they are not participating. I think that's a good idea. Your Ludus is sitting up in the stands, smoking from a hookah pipe, thinking, okay, this is what's going on. What can I do? You're putting bets. Hey, current odds are this. You put 5 in, it's a 5-1 or whatever. You put 5 in, you get 25 out. Okay, cool. You want to put big matches, so you're expecting the other. You're kind of betting with them. You're kind of betting against them, and you can also do some match fixing, which should be encouraged. Arguably, you should be doing match fixing. You should be kind of thinking ahead of things. Larger fights, when you get like the big team fights, or when you get larger all versus one fights and things like that. When a situation like that comes up, all the players can participate. Everyone's throwing a guy in there. When it's not that, then it's not. Then it's like, I need to have something that people can do. That's going to be the hard part. Well, as you can kind of see, did a little bit of restructuring here. So, Dominus Domina still remains the same. This is your generic, you get a good chunk of money, you get no bonuses, no drawbacks, you just get a large start of money, and say you can do whatever the fuck you want. This is the most open, this is the most simple, and this is the one that everyone's going to understand. Slave Driver. You can only effectively recruit weak point buy characters. Weak point buy characters that are going to get a smidgen of gold every time, and they are going to say, I don't want to be here. And they're going to retire eventually, because they're going to buy their freedom. They're lucky, you know, they might stick around. You treat them good, you know, hey, money's money. But they're going to become free agents eventually. They're slaves and they're becoming there. On the other hand, you have a free company, kind of the different one, but it's the idea of these are free men. You run a business, and into that business, they take a larger chunk of the winnings, but there's no upkeep, obviously, and they are kind of loyal to you. This is a business. You arm them, you give them money, you pay. You're making sure they're happy. This is a business and you're running it. Gladiator, they are only restricted to a single class of gladiator. Because that's your gimmick. That was what you were when you were, into the runnings back in the day when I was a champ. Your guys are good, they're high quality, but they're very focused. You don't really get that many options, which kind of goes with the idea of the general, which has discounted soldiers. The thing is, soldiers are not very good showmen. They're very good, they're very strong, know what they're doing, but they are definitely not good in the entertainment field. Gladiators are very entertaining, but they're just very fucking expensive. The cultural ambassador, you have to stay with a single ethnic background. It's only these people, it's only this, only that. Beast Tamer is you have monsters and beasts. And we were having a discussion last night about this, and I thought it was very interesting. It happens. But the idea of the Beast Tamer is that your stable is going to be monsters, is going to be creatures, and the occasional, I don't really know what to call them yet. Right now, they are simply known as sapient. You have a Minotaur. This is the guy you can play, or you play it, or you send in tigers. The Beast Tamer may not be in a fight very often, because it's a fucking animal you're fighting. But you send out, your prize tiger to go out there and rip someone's throat out. Yeah, Fluffy loves you, but Fluffy, it's a fight to the death with Fluffy. On the other hand, you get a lot more exotic creatures to fuck around, which kind of leads into the Decadent Host and the Dungeon Master, who have very different ways of doing things. The idea of the Decadent Host is that you want to build your guys up, but at a certain point, they leave your employ and they become part of the cult. And that is the idea. You're the Decadent Host. You are effectively feeding people into the cult, but they have to win glory and entertainment and all these things. People actually have to like them. And once they become entertaining enough, they graduate, they become part of the cult. The problem is, everyone's a lot cheaper, but you can't really rise to like the highest echelons with them because they are going to get forcefully, your job isn't really necessarily to have them survive or do well. Your job is to get them up to a certain rank, retire them, and, do that. That's your job, pretty much. You are a member of the cult, which is kind of the opposite of the Dungeon Master, which is you get prisoners dirt cheap. But those are really the only guys you can recruit. But they're not very good. They're prisoners. They're kind of the same idea of slaves, but the problem with them is that if they buy their freedom, you don't get anything out of them. You want to get them killed, but you want to rank them up and then get them killed. Yeah, we can send a guy, that's not the punishment. We want to wait. You want to build it up, then cash them out as much as you can, which is setting up a really interesting and good fight for them. Oof. Also, I'd like to think Udenlass for following. Thank you very much. But yeah, these are the ideas of your Ludus. There can be multiple slave drivers, you can be multiple of these, so there could be like, oh yeah, there's like 3 slave drivers in a group, but they can only really recruit slaves, and that's kind of the idea. Or hey, you know, you're all a bunch of retired gladiators recruiting your own stable of guys, pretty much. That's kind of the, you can have multiple of these. It's just the way that you choose to look at it. Now, this does lead into up here through the 5-generation method. Kind of the idea is that as a slave, everything is point buy, but it's a shitty point buy. It's you in story, you can kind of say in world, what your Ludus is doing is going to a market and looking at these guys, you know, being like, okay, he's healthy, he's got good stats, I want these ones, and this, you know, these criteria. You are pretty much pointing out and saying, I want this, 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 and this, and they say, okay, this is what we have, and then there you. Freemen are all randomized. You do not know what kind of freemen you're going to get, and you're just going to get a selection of them. You might get lucky. You might get real damn lucky with a stable of them. Time isn't real enemy. Get some sleep. Sleep, you fool. Gladiators are... And then we have... This is the kind of the idea. So, you know, I was debating on how to do the types of gladiators. Right now, how do I want to word it? Right now, I'm stuck between 2 ideas, and this is why I recruit all of you to help. Great thing. The wonderful world of having, you know, people do things for me. Either A, we go with the idea of the traditional way, which is effectively shield size and equipment. And it sounds kind of weird, but yeah, the idea of how large your shield was a pretty large decider of how you actually were classed as. It's like, yeah, you had a huge ass shield and a basic sword, you were a very specific thing, versus a guy with a spear and a small shield, or a sword and a small shield. And that was kind of the idea. Alternatively, if you notice I have a very certain tab open, we do it more in the traditional class structure. And this is why I was looking over here, because we can do things here. So that's why I'm thinking like, because we do have things like, oh, it's the Myrmidon, oh, it's the Zealots and things like that. Like, we have options here. Some of these are more, some of these are a little bit more focused on magic and stuff, which magic in Theros is technically real, but we don't talk about it. which is one of the big jokes of Thetos, almost, is like, yeah, there is actual literal magic, but it's never good magic. It's not like cast fire fucking ball. Because why would you ever want to cast fireball when we have blood prayers? Magic is prayer. And the only prayer we have is death. And one of the main factions are literally referred to as Howdy Doody. We're just talking about gladiators and how to be a dungeon master or a slave driver. Can you play Van? Yes. You can play Van if you want. And fucking slaves! Yeah. Get your ass back here. Can you play this game as a Gachi Muchi shitpost? Yes. I think that is the most important measure of a game. Can I play this as a shitpost about gay men wrestling? And the answer is always yes. So, right now, I'm kinda... There's really no good way of doing this without feeling like something's not right. Because it's one or the other. You know, like these are very mutual. Like these are very mutual. They're very mutually exclusive. You can't have one without the. You know, you can have one or the other. I'm leaning toward the traditional class structure. Why? Because that gives each gladiator a little bit more. I'd say nuance, but yeah, ooh, my Minotaur sodomized our enemies. Ooh, ooh. That's kind of the like one of the ideas is like the sentient. Again, you know what? Fuck, I'm just gonna call it the sentient in the most like disparaging way possible. Like, yeah, you know, those sentients. You know, it's like sentience. You know, a sentient is racist class, effectively. Like, yeah, you may be, you may be strong, but you are a fucking Minotaur. You don't have a class. Your class is you're a fucking Minotaur. You know, like, oh, you know, like, what do you mean? I want to be. No, your class is Minotaur, with the specific goal of fuck. This is a thing that we want to have happen, and you are paying a lot of money for this guy to kick this guy's ass. That's, you know, that's where the big money comes in. We'd have to find a couple sentients. I would probably want like 5 or 6 to be like, here's a good like set of races class options, effectively. And we can go a little bit weird with them, but yeah. If I were to go with the traditional class structure, just straight up, like, I don't want to have, like, I do not want, like, warrior, because no shit, a lot of things are going to be warrior. So it's like, my class is my pierced nippling rings. See, I'm gonna Google this, and it should show up. Okay, there, scorpion men. First thing I see, by the way. Yeah, like things like Scorpion. Oh gosh, excuse me, I was coming that fast. Ugh. Yeah, you see the idea. You know exactly what we're. Yeah, you know what we're balling. What we're balling. I mean, if we were to think about this, let's think about our skills. You know, if we let me just bring in all. If we were to bring in all of these, What kind of classes would we want? We go down the path of Accra. So, you know, kind of a skirmisher class. Ooh. Let's see. How to Is that an actual? Yeah. Let's see. If we go up to concept of the class, then you have the concept of prestige classes. Oh. SPRUG. Tourist net man. I comprehend. Yeah, Alona has Alona has some very fascinating classes. Tourist literally has no useful skills. But you do start with a high luckily you do start with a Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, it is a very important fact of life that your Hawaiian shirt is valuable. It still doesn't have anything. Yeah. It's like, what more in life do you need? Like, if we're really thinking about it. You know what? Let's be... And so let's think about this. class. If we look at our skills here. We have our skills. Unless we do something like along the lines of... Effectively, you have the aspirant class, which is level 0, effectively. You're an aspirant, you have not actually... You are base level. Everyone start... All of these... All slaves, freemen, pretty much everyone here starts as, all of these guys, these 3, start as that. Gladiators and soldiers start with a class, effectively. Guess then we could do something along the idea of... I guess then we could go down the concept of God, my brain is fucked. Everything is either a Fortissimo reference or Fire Emblem reference. Bro, you're cooked, man. You're never... We're not gonna find God at this rate. You're just gonna get crit by a devil axe. I can't believe Cole's been killed by a devil axe. Truly, it's ogre. So... I guess you could say, like, what is your, like, if we break these things, I guess it would be... Fanciful fighter, it would be a soldier fighter. We do something like that. Like these are your level 1 classes. So if we go down, if we think about it like level 0, level 1, and then you effectively pick your class at this rate. By level 2, by the 2nd rank, you've kind of proven yourself. You've further subdivided yourself in your actual real classes. Devil Axe Gladiator. I'm sorry, everything is a Devil Axe if you try hard enough. I guess with the idea of like a fancy fighter, it would be like a Myrmidon. Like you would have Myrmidon, and a if we're thinking in the same capacity. soldiers are going to be all about, you know, a particular kind of weapon. So you got your Templars, your you know, things like that. Like, that is your goal in life, is to be fighty man. Because if we're going on the idea of everything is retaliation based, we could have the idea that certain characters have just certain... It would be almost the idea that everyone would have a specializations. Everyone has specializations derived from... So, if we're thinking about it... Yeah, crowds like that. Crowd's a big thing. And it would be kind of the idea of a fanciful fighter. A fancy fighter is going to be building his showmanship up more. He does not necessarily... He's not going to be directly killing the enemy as fast, but he's going to be entertaining the crowd. But this is the problem with a fancy fighter. Fancy fighters are kind of countered by soldiers. Because a soldier is just going to be a better fighter than him. And is going to be able to stab him in the chest and he will die. Soldiers are, on the other hand, countered by gimmick fighters. Because gimmick fighters are going to have stupid bullshit like nets. They're going to be like, haha, fuck you, net. And that's a problem you have to deal with now. And that's, you know, soldiers don't want to fight like that. Fanciful fighters are going to counter the gimmick fighters, though, because they're going to be, like, everyone's going to be extremely entertained, and they're going to be able to get around, yeah, they're going to be able to get around the gimmick, if that makes sense. Okay. You know what, let's think about this a little bit more clearly. Let's open this up. And I want everyone to put on their thinking hats. All right, everyone, are your thinking hats on? Good, because we're going to be writing down just words. So, we need our barbarian class. What's the barbarian? You might be flipping around like this week, blah, blah, blah. It's not to the death, fancy fighter. Yeah, exactly. You're seeing exactly what I'm looking at here. It's not like the fancy fighter can't hold his own, and if it needs to, you can send him into a fight to the death, and he might do really well, but that's not what he is designed to do. His training is not focused on that. Which is one of the bigger issues of being one of the gladiators. Being the retired gladiator effectively means you are struck down to being one. Unbow and Averni and Alameni. Bad idea. So, I guess we can actually even do, like, super types. Like, kind of the idea of, like... something like that, like... Or do we do it like... No. Thinking smart. We're thinking very basic and broad. Barbarian. What's the barbarian about? Big smash hit die. Easy. Templar. What's a Templar all about? What if I were to say, okay, a Templar's entered the arena, what does that look like? They are heavy armor, big weapon. Okay. Then it would be a like a clansman. What's a clansman? Hello. Well, a clansman is what are we making? Not a K clansman. What are we making? We're making a gladiator game. We're thinking about classes right now. Let's see. It would be light art. What would be? I guess it would almost be like the Actually, we can call it a no, barbarian would be big smash hit. Templar, landsman's kind of like your sword and board. Little armor, as in you shouldn't have armor on because you are very hypermobile. That's your entire gimmick. So, okay, so we got barbarian, Templar, clansman. We're thinking of Zealot. Actually, you know what we can do? That would see, the funny thing is a zealot would be a really good idea of a fanciful fighter. We would have to write down a handful of the different gods, but yeah. You are effectively becoming your own gimmick. Not even necessarily about promoting his, it could be about promoting his religion. It would be more like, we're trying to make you the most generic version of what we think your religion is at the same time. The best way to think about it is, imagine throwing a Christian into an arena, but you've fucking tattooed a giant cross on his chest. He's like adorned with a bunch of things. He's got nails driven into his fucking hands, and he's using 2 sticks to beat you to death with. It'd be shit like that. Like, yeah, we're literally making a big deal about it. Chariot. They put Bible Man. Effectively. Like, almost like the most generic version of Bible Man in there. He might not even worship that god. It's just like, that's your gimmick now. Bible Man. We all love moral odds, but they get a chariot hard countered by gladiators of Slavic origins. Yeah, it's technically a criminal is a way to make character. So effectively, a criminal would start as an aspirant, move on to this kind of like base level class and then adopt one of these ones as their very consistent class. Is like, this is what you're going to be consistently getting better at. Mm. Mm. Fencer isn't the right term for it, but... Mm. 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 Yeah, fencer. Duelist, if not fencer. Yeah, fencer should work. Like, fencer, duelist, like, feels like kind of feels a little redundant calling him a duelist in this kind of game, but yeah, so a ranger whose entire thing is that he's a little bit adaptable, more fast on his feet. Mm. 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 Beastmaster. Beastmaster is actually a effectively one of the types of schools for your character to be a part of, and that literally is race's class, effectively. That's what you got. The sentients, as they are referred to as. Like, I want to play a Minotaur. Cool. Like, you're one of your guys that you've hired as a fucking Minotaur, and your Minotaur is doing his own thing. The Minotaur doesn't get any of these. The Minotaur advances because he's a fucking Minotaur. Like, that is how he levels up, because he gets more Minotaur class levels, because he's a fucking giant monster. Ugh. Oh, weird. I think I clicked something I shouldn't have. See, the thing with like animal riders is I generally do not know how to fucking do that yet with the current setup. So I'm like, So we're thinking of gimmick fighters. I am a big fucking gimmick. Like, the entire idea is that I am there to do something others are not. Let's think. Let's see. not the maybe the right word of wording it, but oh, popping up occasionally. Yeah, I think I'm just mousing over something. I'm hitting buttons like yeah, something like a trick. Let's think. We're thinking class. If we think 4 per, so struggler, the idea behind a struggler is pretty easy to think about. It's just like you just have a shit ton of health. Like your entire thing is you get more endurance. You do not get better skills. You just get more endurance. The struggler's entire thing is to struggle on. He may not be good at most things, but he's definitely going to keep fighting. Yeah, we can do something for that. That could. Let's. When in doubt, Fire Emblem classes. When in doubt, let's see what Fire Emblem classes we have to work with here. Axe Knight, Axe Flyer, Armor Axe. Well, let's. Good old Barbarian. Oh, everyone loves Barbarian. Let's see. We want to do... And maybe we got a better name over here. I guess we could call it something like a marshal. Like, the entire idea is, like, they're not really good by themselves. The entire point is that they're with other people. Like, the idea behind, like, I want to play a guy with a giant metal ball at the end of it is you can give that to the Barbarian, a Templar. Like, if you want to be, like, if you want to be specific, you can give it to, like, a Zealot even. The idea is that these are some guys are going to be more prone to certain weapons than others. So, like, the Struggler can technically use literally any weapon. Giving him a not Devil Axe might be the best because he's got a lot of HP. He's just going to be able to tank a lot of fucking hits. On the other hand, he's going to be falling over a lot, and he's going to be extremely bloody by the end of it. But he'll live. Like, he's going to be fine. If you want to play a character like that, you hire a Freeman Marshal and then get all your fucking slaves in there. Let's see. So, okay. If we think the idea, and after level 2, so if we're thinking that level 2, and then we do like level, if we're thinking of like level 3 plus, the entire idea is that these are all feeding into the like next levels. After that, you've kind of locked in your class, and then after every level, it's just like raw bonus from class kind of thing. So that would be kind of the idea up to, you know, level 3 to 9. I think that works. It's like, okay, so it's like at level 9 you're a champion kind of thing. Like, yeah, no, this guy should retire now because he has lived the life kind of thing, and he doesn't really need to be here anymore. The hardest part is getting through these. Getting through the first few levels is the hard part, but it's also one of the ideas of, hey, sending your level 5 guy in there against a bunch of level 1s is not entertaining, and you're going to take a pay cut effectively, being like, the entire idea is just to promote him more than anything. So it's like, it's kind of like in Darkest Dungeon. Good night. Like, I guess we could have like almost like special classes, like a soldier class. Like, you can't normally recruit these guys. Like, and the entire idea of being, let's think, I mean, it would give the retired general a little bit more to work with. It's like, yeah, he's got like literal like special classes that he can only really use from. Which, if we're using that, if we're looking at like the concept of like let's see, Roman. Hmm. Legionnaire, Centurion, that means you're standard issue, you're a little bit more heavily armored, you got a bow, and I guess that would be it. You don't really have that many soldiers. Soldiers don't really have that many options, but they're very reliable classes. Ah, Simon. These plebeians are beneath me. I refuse to fight them. Kind of like in Darkest Dungeon, you have a sometimes you have a situation where you just need money. But you can't send your higher level guys into lower level dungeons. So you have to kind of get your goober team in there a little bit. And doing money runs in Darkest Dungeon was one of the things that I disliked most about Darkest Dungeon, but it was a thing that it would be kind of the same idea as like, yeah, you can send your guy in there to, to kind of mop the floor with it. On the other hand, it's not really worth it for anyone involved. It's not as entertaining unless he is a entertaining person regardless, but then it's more like it's less of an actual fight and more of a, we're doing this to, give you some more pocket change. Or who hires some disposable fuckwits to do a pitch black run. Pretty much, yeah. You don't want to send your best guys in there because that's the worst option. That's... Okay. I want to... If everything is going to be 20 plus modified, so it would be if we do something along the line of with 4 points, that would, with 4 attributes, we do 10 ATB, we do 10 ATB into skills. Like, it's not, this is not good. Like, this is, you have 10 attribute points and 5 skill points to divide among these. You're not really going to be doing great. But then fully randomized would be... Fully randomized would be 1d... Actually, 10 divided. So... We do 1d8 per ATB, and then for skills you would have so it would be 1d6 for the skill. And then in each skill you would get... So, if I'm doing this right... Got my D6s. Got my D6s here. I'm going to do a quick little test. So. 2. 1. 1. 3. Then we gather up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we've got 8d6. Let's see. We roll. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. So our random Freeman that we have pretty much dragged in from the pool has 0 melee, 2 range, 0 parry, 1 evasion, 1 resolve, and 4 showmanship. This is just the random dude that has shown up to our office saying, I want a job of being a gladiator. I want to be a gladiator when I grow up. And you say, "Ait." That would be what, like a random guy, and you do that 3 times, and those would be your effectively your selection. You can take on all of them or take on none of them. Sounds like a man you'd give a sling or a bow and say, be fancy, hit hard targets. It'd be something you would effectively say, okay, hey, you're really good at doing... We need to train your ass to be better at certain things, but just, here's a sling, don't disappoint me, and don't die. Like, you can hire him on, or you can say, no, I don't want this guy. You just get 3 randoms. Which leads to... the gladiators. So gladiators are going to be about... It's going to be about 800 ahead. They start at level 3, though. Effectively, they start at level 3, and if we're being... like, they would have... If we assume that level 0 is... They have 8, so they have... Okay, so if we're thinking that an average guy, per level, let's say you get some stats. So with 10, that would be 2 plus 1, effectively. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it would be Duke average. Like, average man would be 3, 3, 2, 2. If we bump that up to 3, 3, so just we do ATB 12 by default. Like, that is what we would actually, if we do... Yeah, if we say 12 is our, like, default healthy man, not a random asshole that you've picked off the street. Like, this is a decent guy who knows his shit. Per level, we're going to say you're going to roll 2d6. So that is 3. Okay, so if we do... He's going to get 12 points. So he would start with 12 points instead of 8 points, unless we do 7. So he would start with 14 instead of 8. That would be... yeah, that would work. So if we're making a random... we're making a random gas gladiator. So if we want... yeah, if we want a randomization, we want the idea of... it's low randomization. We don't know how many points he's going to get. We're going to roll. We got 4 extra points to fuck around with. And let's say we do something like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so those are his... so that's his stats that we've chosen. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We roll all our dice together. 6, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, and a 3. So 0 melee has not worked out. 2 range, 1 parry, 3 evasion, 0 resolve, 1 showmanship, but it would actually be 4, 2, 6, 2. Those would be his actual stats. No charisma to fire up the crowd. Like, yeah, no, this guy has a better showmanship, but he's going to get mogged in range combat. So here's what your random ass gladiator would look like. But he's level 3 off the bat a little bit, and he's a lot more expensive. It would make the it would make it a lot more palatable as a retired gladiator, because as a retired gladiator, we can reduce the cost of that pretty significantly. So it's effectively you are recruiting your old, like, not even old buddies, but you're recruiting people who you already know the game. You already know what these guys want. I guess for the sake of should add this. So with 10 ATB points, with 10 points, we can do 3, 2, 5. We can do something like that. And then with 5 skill points, we could do 2, 0, 3, 0, 0, 0. So slaves are very not good, but they're very cheap. Okay. If we do 1d3 an attribute, however, you get, we think, 8d6. If we're thinking the idea of 8d6 skills, it would be 8. So let's say you just get, like, that. Something like that. So here, so we would randomly roll our ATBs. So we're gonna roll our attributes. Let's roll the attributes. Okay, cool. Good news, everybody. Our brawn is 2. Our dexterity is 1. Willpower 3. Endurance 3. We are 6, 7, 8, we are technically above average here. And for our skills, because we have 12 skill points to spend, we're going to say we have 4 melee, 0 range, 4 parry, 2 evasion, 2 resolve, 0 showman. 8 and 12. And then here it would be same premise as the gladiators there. So we're going to roll for our skills here real fast. We're going to roll for our attributes. Brawn 1, dexterity 2, willpower 3, fucking endurance 1. This man was not going to survive prison. Dice here for roll all of our dice here. So let's see. 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. And 6. Got a nice little spread here. We've got 1 melee, 1 range, 2 parry, 2 evasion, 1 resolve, and 1 showmanship. Of nice, solid, rounded character. And all of this would be D20 plus attributes. So you would effectively be starting at... you're starting at level 3, effectively. You start at level 2. The rest of you are starting at level... You all start as aspirants. Level 3, otherwise known as you choose skill, as you choose you get to choose a class right off the bat. Level 2, you must choose soldier. So you only get one, you only really get one option, which is down here. And then each of these would give you slightly different bonuses and benefits. So, yeah. Alright. I'm fucking with working. Oh yeah, I think we're gaming a little here. I think we're gaming. Okay. Hit that. Okay. So if we are saying this is... We're saying this is our origin. This is who we actually are. You can go away, I think. Like, this is who we actually are. I guess then we would need to ask our... It's bad. It says bad, but it would be our ethnicity, or I guess we could do a little bit more our people. who the fuck are, like, where are you actually from, and we can give ourselves a little bit of bonuses there. And if we say we give if we're thinking there's 6, let's say there's 6 cultures. Each of these cultures is going to provide a +1 to an ATB and +2 to skill. We've got plenty. We've got a couple ATBs. We've got a couple skill. Easy enough to understand. Those are your cultures. Those are who you are. Just what people assume of you a little bit. Hey, yeah, you're a tough guy. Everyone knows you're tough. Everyone knows you're fast. Everyone knows you're very willful, or you're very, like, physically tough. Okay. That's easy enough to understand. So we've got that. We are going to need to come up with the cultures, but that shouldn't be too difficult, says man, clearly fucking delusional. I guess we would need background. Like, well, not even necessarily backgrounds, but like... One of the things is, I think we would need, like, it's weird to say, but we would need random traits. Something that you would see, like, we recruit a fucking, slave, and being like, I want a discount on the guy, being like, okay, you get a random ass trait that you may not see, being like, okay. Slaves, you wouldn't have to worry about that as much, but like, oh, hey, your random freeman here shows up and he doesn't have an arm or something, and it's shit like that. No. It would be kind of like this, like the, like the big, like the major traits and neutral, and like you would look at it being like, yeah, this dude's just fucking huge. Hey, this guy is like just fucking fast, or something like that. That seems really... Guess we could do like we do 20 random backgrounds. Like 20, it would be 20 random ass traits, but Tarkus Dungeon Wiki joke, but quirks. Hmm. Ow. I can see it. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, right there. Ooh. Ah. Hmm. Mm. On another hand, like, unless we make them like, mm, mm, like, unless we do something like that, like they're generalized trait descriptors more than anything, where it's to give players a little bit more agency over their characters. It would be like, hey, you have this thing. This is a a positive thing, or this is a negative thing. It doesn't do anything strictly mechanical, but it gives every single one of your gladiators a little bit more personality. That could be something. I don't know. That is this is a big it's a very situation, because I like the idea of like random, but on the other hand, we're going to be generating so many different characters where it's like, I don't know. I'm scared to people will start finding them. There will be some that are very that just pop up a lot, being like, oh, it's this one again. I have 3 guys who are giants, kind of thing. I've got 4 guys who are this. I've got 3 guys who are this. So it's like, give it a little bit more, being like, yeah, these are just things that you write in. Like, That's what I was thinking, less like, it's more of like a write-in feature almost. Like, hey, this character has disease. You write in what disease they have, and that's something. And that's something that now that the character has. That's like, okay, that's going to affect things later on. The GM can play with that a little bit. It's you have rolled the disease and you've chosen to give this fucker leprosy, kind of thing. Or the GM is like, hey, this is a slave with leprosy. What do you want to do with this? Do you want to get, it's kind of like the GM gets to have some write-in traits randomly that you can get some bonuses with. It's a really, I don't know how I want. Again, it's like very generalized things. And it would be like, my idea for like generalized, it would be like beneficial, like beneficial physical trait, add +1 to a ATB. What does that mean? It is, oh hey, well, I write it, he has like a robust build, +1 endurance. That's just something he has. I get to have that a little bit of choice with him. My only fear is things like when it comes to like slaves, because I do not want slaves to be inherently that way, unless I get the idea being like, yeah, you get to choose effectively. Could go in the, I need someone to throw out this unkillable monster pen. Yeah. Okay. I'm feeling much better about my life. When it comes to Sapiens, I'm just going to put a big note. Self being more like humanoid, but not one of the people, but not one of the people. Minotaur, Scorpion. That might be something I just need to consult the people on. Okay. Slaves need 2 negative for every positive. That could work. It's kind of like, yeah, you get to choose which ones they are. On the other hand, it's kind of like you have to choose a negative, and like you have to choose a negative if you want a positive kind of thing. Again, because that is the idea, is that you are the one going out there and looking for them. I guess we can do the idea of the gladiators already have some history with them, and that's kind of the problem. I mean, you know, you're getting the idea. Okay. There we go. Every odd level you end up getting a quirk, so with 0 being an odd level technically. Soldiers effectively would start with a free quirk, which is good and bad, because it's like, yeah, hey, you're disfigured. People do not like looking at the disfigured person very much. They're scared of you. On the other hand, the retired general, if we're going off of this idea, we think soldiers are 600 for 3. It's going to be 300. Pretty much cut in half. Slave cost goes to 50. They pretty much get a 50% discount. You would get a Something like that. Why is slave filter? Man, I don't know. You need worthwhile business partners, so your slave driver is more open to selling you the better slave that are less fucked up. Slaves that drivers would want to sell in the open market are not the best and brightest of the lot they have. Part of me thinks it's kind of the reputation in being gladiators of higher quality. That would be kind of the idea of like more outside. I can kind of see this being like, we are heading to the market. A player looks at you, the GM, and says, GM, I want to spend some money on getting some guys. And they say, cool, what do you want to spend? And he puts forward 750 gold. And he says, I want to hire some freemen. I'm going to roll up 9 random freemen. And I'm going to pick some of these guys up. And they're like, cool, do that. But if it's like, hey, you're my #1 customer because you're a slave driver with very high respect and influence. People really like you. I want to get in your good graces a little bit here. I've got a special deal for you. And that special deal is something very simple. I want to give you someone who is cracked. This guy is the best of the best. He is insane. And I want 500 for him. But I'm only giving you this deal. 500, guy has stupid stats. He's like level 3 at level 1. It's just like, okay. And you're like, all right, cool. Or it's like, hey, I'm playing the, retired general. Like, yeah, hey, the GM has put in a situation saying, hey, there are soldiers, there was a skirmish not too long ago and a bunch of guys are coming back home looking for work. Here you can, there are guys who you don't even need to pay to find them. Like, this is something that just happened. And that's part of the plot, possibly, or something going on. Is like, yeah, people are looking for work, and they're willing to work for you because you, general. Or just kind of the idea of entering the free market kind of thing, like free agents. Whereas, like, hey, your Dominus has said, I am going to retire one of my guys. I do not want him anymore. I'm going to cash him out for effectively some money and say, go away. I want to hire some better people. Or you've taken some nasty injuries and you're now no longer good for me. You get put out, he becomes a free agent effectively. And then your fucking like cultural ambassador player says, well, you're part of that same background. You're part of that same background. In exchange, how about this? I'll hire you. You're going to be part of my team now. You have all the right in stats and problems already. But you're mine now. Because you're just a free agent. And then you get to control it. It would be like, you don't even roll for your ethnic type at that point. It's just like, yeah, you want a gladiator? Cool. We will always select this people. This is our people. Okay. Ow. Back. Okay. Stop fucking dying at me. Yeah, racism is profitable. Okay, I think this should work. Okay, I'm feeling good about this. Kind of got to, yet again, we have a contender for biggest fucking thing. Like, just I don't intend on these things getting as large as they have. Nothing has quite beaten the Palinka effect yet. Nothing has beat the rather extensive nightmare that was Palinka effect. Bridge Commander was coming close. Of course, we've got the Yick nightmare over here. But, okay. Alright, I'm feeling decent. Feeling good. Because all a specialization would be is, hey, I have a sword specialization of 1. That means anytime I'm in melee or parrying, I get a +1. Hey, I've got an evasion, an evasion thing against arrows or slings. Cardboard. Yeah, Cardboard Hustle, as of right now, I've resolved myself to do being forced to do Deckmaster. And I'm waiting for it because Deckmaster is nightmarish and I'm ready for it, and that's just something that I have to just do. I'm just going to have to accept my lot in life. And I do like it how they just have anime and manga gameplay and be like, yeah. Yeah, the real life, yeah, the real life rules. Let's see. Let's see, special summon must be a yeah, welcome to welcome to having a Deckmaster, which is effectively Commander, which that is effectively what we're going to be having to do, is play Commander in a very extensive format, and we might be playing Inscription on stream. To woo. God, what are we at this point? So let me do a quick check. Let's do some actually put a new folder in here and say Luda's Maxima. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just gonna select all of these. See how many we have. It can't be that many, says man, fully knowing that it's going to be insane. Not the lexicon. We don't need to worry about that. Okay, this is not... Okay, Eh. Not the Dead Project ER, not the lexicon. Actually, if I can... if I just do that. Okay, so not Dead Project ER. Not the lexicon. Not Ziduang or Yige Minzu or Zolder. Okay, so that's 91. However, what we have to do is, if we go to 1, 2, 3, so that's 90, 94, technically. And if we be specific, it would be 95 with 95 because in Iron Caskets we have the 2. 96, no, 95 with Boots in Mud. Then, yeah, 95. I'm probably missing something. I would not be surprised if I am horribly, horribly missing something. Something is not where it ought. I forget that there are so many of these random-ass games that including, but not limited to, the full actual Keijo roleplay. It's full on... Let's think. Like, if I have... Fixing Shadowrun... So if we go through all of these games, if we're at 90, let's say we're at 95 right now. If I open up, we're at 95 right this second. 96 would be Cardboard Hustle. 97 would be Borzoi. 98 would be a different commission or possibly Trundlewood Fortress, and 99 would be Trundlewood. If we get a second commission. In the current state of affairs, the next one would be the final 100. That's the most cursed reality. It would be the final 100 would be not this project list, but the next one, which could be literally anything. Truly, we live in enlightened times. It's, what that 100 will be, I don't know. It could be legitimately anything. I do not know what it could possibly be. 100 has to be not Zalted. Do you wish to kill me? Like, do you wish to bring death upon me? Note Zalted, am I right? Yeah, pretty much. My final, my dream. Cruciform is counted. Cruciform is counted because Cruciform is technically, it is in that initial list. We go to the project folder dice. Cruciform is right here, which we did get a lot of work on that one done. I feel very good about the vague manuscript edition. People seem to like it. People seem to be very happy with Cruciform. I made a very, very deliberate point of not mentioning vampires with the Helsing organization. We're making a notable thing. We can't say it, but we all know it. Yeah. Couple little things that people seem to actually enjoy. Mostly right now, it's like you need to have, like, right now people are like, I need just examples and stuff, but as you can kind of see, I don't really know where to put them. I've been calling them bumps forever, Ed, so calling them raises found weird. Yeah, there's a couple things in here that need to get fixed and need to be prettified. But people seem to like it. What needs to happen right now with Cruciform, ironically enough, is I need to write a thing from, will Democracy decide the 100th? Of course Democracy will decide the 100th game. We always believe in notocracy here. After pressing the last key on stream. Finally, my dream is done. Dies. See, the worst part is, if this whole job thing goes correctly, and I do get this job, I want you all to know that the back half of the year will also be extremely fucky-wucky, because I will be moving again, and it will be a long and very arduous move, and I will be starting a new job, effectively, and starting that new job will not be fun, because it's going to be a grinding kind of job. So season 5 of Notepad's Little Opinion might be very short, relatively speaking, depending on how things get done. But back on track, what I need to do right now with Cruciform is I need to finish a thing for fucking Fortissimo. Before you start having a stroke, all of you, there's a reason. Cole put in an idea of how to make an investigation system, and I thought it was very interesting. But then I remembered something. I had a brain blast, as you know. I had a brain blast from a game I went over a long time ago. And that was Enforcer. This was Enforcer by Stormforge Production. Let's see, does he have the thing that I would be citing? He does not. Do I? I could download it, but I am a prideful man and won't. That. I have lucky go. See, what I get to do now is bump my own. I get to bump my own numbers. There we go, baby. This is what I do. It was. Let me see if I. Okay, let's stop talking. There we go. It was kind of a weird idea, but it's the idea of more Fortissimo. It was the idea of this. It's everything is arranged as 10 areas of jurisdiction. And I thought about it with Cole's proposition for his investigation system, and I'm like, I think we can combine these two together to get something really interesting. With the idea being, here is the best way to think about it is, for Cruciform or Fortissimo or whatever other fucking game out there, the idea is, here is HQ, here's home base, and here are districts around home base that if you choose to investigate, something else is going wrong in another district. And it's that's kind of the idea. It's just like we're making things around. Planning on changing things up with the channel after game 100 or something? No, not really. It's nothing too extreme like that. Nothing too fun and exciting. Biggest change that I could see me really undergoing. This is of course me. Dun dun dun. Like here you see me. It's the biggest thing that I would say would be like maybe doing some more things on the second channel, but like that would be pretty much it. Like that's kind of the idea, is like if I do anything, it would be doing some more like actual videos on the second channel, but I know people don't subscribe to the second channel for that. And that's kind of the idea there. But that people seem to want me to new channel trailer, maybe, probably. People seem to want me to keep the course. That's the big thing. Is people say keep the course, keep what you're doing, and I think that's a good idea. I think keeping what we've been doing is good. And yeah, that would actually be an interesting video. Honest to God, that would be a funny stream more than anything of 5 years of the Notepad add-on experience, which the worst part is, I want you all to know this, the worst part, if I go to my videos here, if I go here, and I go to the Morkborg video, yes, the Morkborg video from May 7th, 2021, yeah, 2021 is when I started doing this, making all the little opinions. It's been a while. I think I really started uploading videos here in March of 2020. I think that's when I really started. Fucking 1 minute on Brookborg1.mv4. That's when I think it was then I started really uploading like the old video, like the old streams and stuff. You can still find a majority of the old streams, but it'd be interesting to go through some of the old videos. Every now and again, like when I'm checking on things, YouTube will recommend me my own videos, being like, oh, hey, you clicked on this channel, I think you should watch this video. And I'll watch some of my old videos from like a year or two ago. I die internally because sometimes they're just bad. So I've realized that I do make these videos entirely for myself because I do laugh at my own jokes. I have a problem. That's the worst part, is I do laugh at my own shitty jokes because it's just funny to me. It's me. But again, I think that's always the most important thing, is make things that you want to watch. And I want to watch my dog shit opinions on tabletop role-playing games. But it's always funny listening. I can clearly hear like the eras, like the mic era when I was using the headset mic, when I was using the when I was sick at certain points, I could hear it. It's great. Like, it's like, oh man, that's wonderful. Dying internally. But yeah, no, we're gonna be keeping the track. Everything should be normal. I've got a few ideas. What'll most likely happen is I'll do a double vote of like, what do we want for game 100? Like, this is the 100th game Notepad add-on has made. What do you want from it? And I will put out a couple options. And like, part of me wants to be like, yeah, everyone can vote on this. Go for it. Everyone knows exactly what we're voting for. Another part of me is like, no, the plebeians get less information than usual. They'll just get a single word. Make it an ARG. Sorry, everybody. Here's my ARG. Like, of trying to find out what it is. Like, that's the entire ARG. Mind you, here, this would be the big thing, is the thing would be is that all the normal people, all the patrons would have complete information about what it is, and has the choice. A single letter, 26 plans. And all of the patrons would know exactly what it is, and they would have, I would forbid them from telling anyone. After one of your tulpas, the final game, it's just various tulpas. It is what it is. It is what it is. But we got to get through these ones. It's funnier that patrons have always had an option to leak patron information, and none of us have. None of you have, but I am on Kimono. I want you all to know that. I think that is the funniest fucking thing in the world, though. Like, every single time that I am on Kimono, I want, like, what it was the, what's it called? Kimono? Effectively the place where you can find leaked patron information, like Patreon stuff. I'm on there. Someone, yeah, Kimono Party. Someone legitimately uploaded all my stuff there, and I don't know why. Like, I think that's the fun. Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty. Oh, Jesus. Hello. Oh! Whoa, everybody. Can't have, oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're just gonna... Ooh. We're just gonna... Woof. We're just... Jesus. Okay. That's an option. Let me see if we can... Did I get removed? No, I didn't. Yeah, here we go. I am on here, by the way. I want you to know that I am here. I do not know why, but yes, Notepad Anon was here and uploaded it like February, yeah, from last year. It's been a year since someone decided to like upload everything. I don't know who, I don't know why, but if you ever want information, I'm right here. So go for it. And like part of me wants to be like, yeah, hey, here's all of the things you need. You want all these things? Like, yeah, this is just where it is. Fuck you. Fuck you. Here it is. I was halfway through listening while trying to get my shit done. When nothing happened. I was just jorking to my starting cutie succubus ASMR 36. Let's see what Notepad uploaded. Yeah, it's like yeah, I was like, what's going on here? Like, fuck me, it's like 10 o'clock. I gotta fucking write a script. All right, I'm gonna call it there. I gotta write a script for tomorrow. It might be a rough script to Tiger Ball the sport, the final destination. I just finally write the Tiger Ball role-playing game / card game / board game / theatrical experience. That'll be the final destination. I write the final RPG. I write the J Dragon of role-playing games. Fucking J Dragon. God damn it. I'm still mad he got work at it. Game 100 is LARP rules. Yes, it is specific rules how to LARP as Notepad Anon. 10,000 plus IQ play. Now everyone is Notepad. All right. Thank you all. I will see you all maybe tomorrow. Depending on oh, thank you very much, Rick Seeger, for following. Thank you. Kissu kissu. I'm leaving now, but love you all. I will see you. Game 100, solid bed and breakfast. Endless nightmares, the game. I will see you all maybe tomorrow. Friday we'll be doing something, because as usual, I do not like starting games on Friday. Tomorrow, most likely, I don't know how long the RuneScape video is going to be. Because the RuneScape game is such a fascinating shit show that I have a feeling I'm going to be talking about it for a while. But I also do not want to make it like a 25-minute fucking video of me just Like, you know, the RuneScape is just 25 hours of me like shoving a shotgun in my throat, being like, I fucking hate this game. Because I'm gonna give you all a secret. I was not a RuneScape gamer. I wasn't. I was a Sherwood dungeon gamer, baby. I played real games. I played Sherwood fucking dungeon. That was my poison back in the day. I didn't play fucking RuneScape. I was a Sherwood man. This is peak Notepad early 2000s. This is peak me. That's the worst part. It's like, this is what I would remember playing. They have no other games. That's just the weird thing I remember. But I'm gonna call it there. Hopefully you have a nice day. Sayonara, Zitsubuya Sensei.